And Washington's gone now. He's leaving.
Well, you knew that. We called that.
Well, yeah, but this is all his dad's advice. This is all his dad telling him what to do, play the game. He just came out, 2-3 weeks ago. He loves Minnesota. He's got his family.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. This guy's a pasty face.
Is he a
liar.
fraud? Is he a fraud?
This guy needs to get some sun, first of all. I mean, yes, he's a fraud, just like his old man is. Chip off the old block. You don't think they talk 15 times a day? He's telling him what to do. I hope he leaves.
I'm so disappointed.
I know. What has he built here? Come on, Steven. Really, what has he built?
Well,
here?
he hasn't built anything
different?
yet, but I'm telling you, when you start recruiting and you do get to the NCAA tournament, you are building towards something. So I am very upset in this news. I thought this was, I don't know, it's like, well, we stuck by you during the tough times, and then what? As soon as we have a good season, you're just going to leave and you want another contract extension? Remember, the Gophers extended him last year, and they finished so horribly, and they still gave him a contract extension through 2022. It's like, where's your loyalty at?
Do we know his salary here? Because he's got doesn't he have like a $5 million buyout if they fire or if they get rid of him or something?
Oh, boy, I hope not.
It's really high. No, they do. The buyout's high on him. It is. That's been talked about. You might want to look that up, but he's got something that's pretty lucrative.
Let's see.
This guy's a fraud. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying. The negativity just comes, but I can sense it when you see him, just the way he is, and coming from his father. And his father is so much into his life still, and I mean, he's a fraud. He's a bigger fraud than anyone. Come on, man.
All right, let me give you the contract details. Okay. Pitino, 34, was under contract through 2021 and a base salary of $400,000 and blah, 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 blah. That brought his annual compensation to $1.6 million a year under terms of an extension finalized in 2015. Those figures won't change, but the extension deals include additional bonuses later in the term. Okay. Pitino has a blah, 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 blah. Okay. Led his team to a 24-10 record 2 years ago, then 8-20. Yeah, listen, he's been up and down every year, so they had a chance to fire him. I'm just saying last year. They did. They had a chance to fire him because you go from a tournament team to, you win 10 games. It's like, well, what happened here? But, all right. Richard Pitino interviewing with Arkansas. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I think he's just being a businessman, I guess. I guess he's trying to create more leverage, but for him to recruit Gabe Kalsher, Daniel Turu, and Amir Coffey, and it looks like you got something building, and they got this kid Carr that's going to come in next year, and to just leave in a second after you win a tournament game, which is ho hum, great, that's a great job, and then you get blown out in the second round. I definitely have problems with that, but I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, then we can really get into him. But as of right now, it's not official.
We're really going to nail him.
I'll definitely nail him.
Let's ask yourself this question: if it was you, would you do what he's doing right now?
No. Why would I do that? Like, if you, first of all, if a company or a team or whatever business I'm in sticks by me through the tough times, I'm going to always have a soft spot for them emotionally. And if I have 100%. If they fire me like that, if I have my first year of coaching and I go, 10-22 and I get fired, well, I'm like, well, what the heck? You fired me after my first year. I'm not going to come in here and be 21-9. I mean, this is the reality of sports. You can't just come in and dominate. You got to give your program. That's the thing with college coaching. You have to give them time to build their culture, their program, their recruiting. Everything needs to build.
Right.
So if I'm Pitino, and they stuck by me through the tough times, and there was allegations too, like with Reggie Lynch. Like there's some bad stuff that went on. Nate Mason. There was something about a sex tape that came out. I remember a few years ago. There's been some bad stuff that's happened, and the university has always stuck by him, and through the losing seasons. The first chance you get to get an interview somewhere and you go, I don't know. That's not right to me. That's not right to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
Okay.
I do on this one. I'm glad to see you're starting to see what I've been telling you for weeks. You can't trust the guy.
No, maybe. Well, we'll see. If he takes the job at Arkansas, you got me. All right, let's move on here. Minnesota Wild missed the playoffs. Snapped their sixth straight they've been in, I guess. They missed the playoffs. you called this. You never thought they really going to get in. I think you told me a game where they needed to win and they lost, and you said if they lost this game, they're not going to make the playoffs. This was a few weeks ago, and they ended up losing because you were right on the money on that. Look, this team, I mean, they missed an opportunity, a huge opportunity in the West that was just terrible this year. They battled injuries, but at the end of the day, it's the same old Wild. Doesn't matter if they make a bunch of trades. Victor Rask, awful, 1 goal, 1 assist in 25 games, brutal. What are your thoughts here on the Minnesota Wild missing the playoffs?
Well, I don't know. I'm a little intimidated to talk about him this week based on your next guest, Mr. Russo, the King. So
he's not biased, though. I'll give him that. Dave. He's not biased.
You know what? We've seen this coming for the last couple of years. The players that they have were getting older. They weren't getting anything from Granlund and Zucker and
Coyle.
And then they traded them at Coyle, and now they've traded them away. They got burned badly on the Rask thing.
The Rask that'll haunt this team, man.
Right. And Koivu, then he goes out. They were thin anyway, and they couldn't score anyway the last few years. Now this year, it's just finally bottomed out. I was waiting for it, to be honest with you. I mean, they have no minor league system. They got nobody young.
Well, that's what happens when what's his name? Who's Chuck Fletcher gives up all your picks and your prospects to get Jason Pominville, Martin Hanzal, and Thomas Vanek to really think that's going to put us over the top.
Right, and it's going to be a while before we dig out of the Fletcher mess. And I just don't think people are as hard on him that they needed to be. That guy ruined this team, and you saw the results this year. I thought he should have been gone 2 years ago, but when we went through this crap, but. No, I can't imagine next year's going to be any better. What do you think? I mean, they've got nothing. They've got nothing coming up.
Listen,
they're going to have to rebuild their farm system. I mean, they got to get some young guys. I shouldn't say farm system, but they have nothing. And it looks as though maybe one of the 3 guys they got in the trade might be something. I mean, what do you think? This Rask thing's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Who is this guy?
That's a joke.
and then the other guy from Nashville's.
Well, Fiala's got more of an upside to me.
Yeah. Look, but defensively he's a dog, though, and I think that's probably why they got rid of him. He's going to be a problem there. But the Dumba thing obviously killed him, but you can't use that as an excuse.
No.
I think they're soft. Don't you think they're a soft team? I mean, I'm not saying they have to go out and fight all the time, but
here's what I'll say, Dave. I'll say this. The last few years that I can remember, I really do remember the Wild, and I know, the one positive of the Yo teams and even the early Boudreau teams was that their defensive structure was always consistent. It was really good. I mean, they had really good D-men. If you look across the board, if we go back, Jared Spurgeon, Ryan Suter a few years ago, Matt Dumba, Jonas Brodin, and then you had Marco Scandella, and I forget who. They had another guy that they just played really good defense, and they wouldn't win, 4-3. They wouldn't win 5-2. They would win 2-1. They'd win 2-0. And that's the one thing I'll say that it works in the playoffs. Like with that type of game, that type of style works in the playoffs. It didn't seem like the Wild had enough that structure-wise, and also. I mean, we talked about this before. Like, if the Wild needed to have a successful season, they needed to have, like, Joel Eriksson step up. They needed to have Greenway step up. They needed to have Cunnin step up. Well, Dave, Eriksson had 8 goals and 8 assists in 81 games. That's not – we can sit here and we can say, wow, he's playing so much more physical. But the bottom line is, why don't we ever get young guys that come in the league like Jake Getzel, okay, that played in your backyard, that played for Pittsburgh, and puts up 20 goals, and then puts up, 15, 20 goals in the postseason. When is that guy going to come up here and dominate? Like, they just don't have it.
It's bizarre, isn't it? It's like they come up here and then I don't know if it's the clean air in Minnesota or what, but they automatically, once they start playing here, missing the net,
right?
Shooting wide, can't put the puck past the goalie. I mean, it's been this team's story. The last guy I can remember was Gabrick that wasn't like that, but they've got so many guys that brought in here that can't get the net. They can't put it past the goalie. I don't know if can't be a system thing because they're on their third, fourth coach now.
Right.
It's just really bizarre. I mean, like, how about Jason Zucker?
Well, he was so up and down.
Have you ever seen anyone miss a net so many times? And let me ask you this: do you get the feeling that Ryan Suter runs this team? It's like some kind of Nashville connection, and this is what scares me about the owner and his new GM. What they're doing, that's my concern right now is the owner and this GM. Maybe give the GM a chance, but he screwed up letting Fletcher go as long as he did.
I agree. And also, Dave, let's think about this. Are the Wild going to beat Winnipeg in a best of 7, or Calgary, or Nashville? Are they?
They don't look. They don't even deserve to be a sniff of the playoffs.
They don't.
They're under 500,
right?
And they're under 500. It's this whole system thing with points and stuff with overtime losses. It's a joke. No, they couldn't beat anyone in the playoffs. I don't even think they could beat Arizona or Colorado in 7 games. So I don't want them in there. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing, boring to watch, embarrassing. Let's move on.
All right, let's go to some positive stuff here. Last couple minutes here. It's Dave's favorite team. I've mentioned it once. I'll mention it again. He loves the Twins, so he's got to be fired up right now. 4-1. Okay, and listen, Dave, I know it's early, but I got a good feel for this team. Miguel Sano, we don't need this guy. They come out here, they start 4-1. They come back against Kansas City twice. Barreros is pitching great. Nelson Cruz, he's got a home run, 6 RBIs, batting .333. And then this pudgy kid, Willen Astildo.
I love the pudgy
667
kid.
Right now, just absolutely killing it. What are your thoughts on the Twins right now?
Well, I'll just give you the negative side because I knew you were going to be really overly excited about this. Now, let's keep in mind the reality. Cleveland had 2 of their best hitters out in Lindor and Kipnis. Okay, those are some pretty big bats.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, just so you know, just so you remember that.
Fair.
Kansas City, as we've discussed, is probably the first or second worst team, probably in all of baseball. They are bad. Okay. So yeah, we won a couple games barely. But how about Gibson yesterday? Once again, 5th inning, hits a major wall. Has a terrible game.
Does he get bailed out?
Oh, so yeah, let's not get too excited yet. Tell you what, next week we'll get through the Mets and the Phillies, probably 2 of the best teams in the National League. Let's see where we're at after those games.
Okay.
Then we'll start getting excited. But right now, you cannot be excited over the 2 wins against Kansas City. Now, Barrios, I will give you credit. I mean, yeah, he's something to get excited about, but we haven't seen enough yet. I'm sorry. Kansas City's bad, my friend. I mean, how many players can you even name on their team?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that whenever the Twins get off to a hot start, that usually ends well, because a lot of times when they don't make the playoffs, I'm just talking about the last few years, if they get off to a bad start, they don't make it. 2 years ago, they got off to a good start, and they made it, and you're right. Philadelphia and New York, I'll probably be going to that Met game next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll see. They're going to probably Tuesday because Wednesday DeGrom pitches, which means the prices are going to go right up. But, yeah, no, this is a good test for them. I mean, Philadelphia and New York, like you said, they're good teams. New York, obviously, it's buzzing right now out here. I mean, the Mets versus the Yankees right now. I mean, the Yankee fans are kind of bugging out, and the Mets fans are obviously talking about a World Series. They're kind of like us in a way. They get real excited really early. It's usually what
they got the pitching, though.
No, they do. But listen, I mean, Dave, you have to be. Let me see if I can think of a better word than excited. Let's see. Are you looking forward to seeing more of Nelson Cruz and Willen Astildo? I mean, you don't feel any sense of excitement?
Here's the problem you got when they go to these National League cities. What are they going to do with those 2 guys? Because they're not going to be able to get it unless he catches, which he should. Unless I don't know if he's that good of a catcher or not. But I see yesterday he played third and left field. But what are you going to do with Cruz? I mean, he's going to have to play somewhere in the field and someone's going to have to come out. So they got a little issue when they go to a National League park. You got to keep that in mind. So those 2 bats probably aren't both going to be in the lineup.
And you still don't think that this team can compete in the Central?
Oh, in the Central absolutely can. Worst division in baseball, absolutely, and we don't know what with Cleveland's a mystery until those 2 guys come back. I don't know, but yeah, they'll compete because there's 3 dog crap teams in there.
No,
right?
I agree. I just think that
I mean, yeah, okay.
we can.
You're trying to get me excited. I'm a little bit. I'm intrigued